Do you want to get your player's email noticed by college coaches and to also boost his chances of playing college baseball? In this video, this is going to be your ultimate guide to actually get responses from college coaches. Who am I, you might ask? Well, my name is Evan Mendoza, and I'm quite literally that baseball guy that talks development, mindset, and even recruiting. I also have 7 years of professional baseball experience under my belt between the St. Louis Cardinals and San Diego Padres. I was also able to land 3 college offers from my top 3 schools, finally going D1 in the ACC at NC State University. Now, if you like this video, make sure to go down below in the description to download the email template I'm about to go over. This is the same exact email template that I instruct all of my students inside my academy. So really, before we get started, is this you? Do you not know where to start? And if you don't know where to start, that is completely okay. Do you not know what to say to these college coaches? And again, that is okay. How do you even send these emails out? Do you just email them out on your iPhone? Like, what exactly do you do? How do we track responses? Honestly, do we have them in a spreadsheet? Do we just make a mental note? What exactly do we do to get these responses? Do we also go to camps that they offer us to go to? Are those camps worth our time and money and sacrifices? Is it worth the investment ultimately? Because some of those camps are just thrown out there, but I'll get that in a second. What about showcases? This is something that I feel like a lot of people think college camps and showcases are the same thing, and they are not the same thing. So obviously do your research on what a college camp is, what a showcase is. And also, if you guys don't know the difference between a college camp and a showcase, maybe drop it down below in the comments and maybe I'll do a video for you guys. But what's a good offer and what's a bad offer? Because ultimately, you don't want to take a bad offer to a bad university that isn't a good fit for you or your player. What should we do for college visits? Is an unofficial visit worth our time? Should we only go to official visits? These are things that I'm going to show you in this video. So first and foremost, before we really get started, I'm going to be going over, again, this email template to land college offers. And this is the same exact email template that I'm going to be going over later on in this video. And it's the same exact It's the same exact email template I instruct all my students inside my academy to use. So before we really get started, let's say you live right here, right? And let's just say that's let's say that's Houston. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's Austin. I think Austin's over here. But anyway, you live in Texas. This is you. This is your point A, right? And ultimately, you want to go to point B, which is up here in, I think that's Maine. I've never been. But let's say you are going on a road trip, right? And I give you this simple instruction. I say, hey, you want to get to point B. You're starting at point A. How are you going to get there? And more importantly, yes, you are able to use a car, right? But you're not able to use a GPS whatsoever, right? So there are going to be times where you're driving in the middle of Texas and you make a wrong turn and you all of a sudden start going this way. And then you're like, oh, wait, I'm going north. I should be going east. So I'm going this way. And then you start going this way. And then it's oh, wait, okay, we're going north. Where are we? Again, we're not using GPS, so we have no clue on what we're really doing. And then you find yourself literally in Maryland. Oh, wait, there's the water. We shouldn't be going this way. Okay, we're near Niagara Falls. That's not good. Okay, finally. And then we get to point B. Holy cow, that took us so long, right? And look at this. There's wrong turns here. There's wrong turns here. How long is that actually taking you guys to get to Maine? So let's say that trip is supposed to take you 20 hours of travel time to go from point A to point B, right? Well, in reality, what it looked like for you, instead of that 20 hours, it took you 40 hours, right? It took you almost 2 full days of driving on the road. So an extra day it took you by not having that simple GPS system that literally took you from point A simply to point B. Look at all this wasted time over here, all of this wasted time right here, all of this wasted time over here, and over here, right? What if you just had that direct GPS directly to your point A, from your point A to your point B, all right? Well, guess what? I can be that GPS for not only you and your player, right? When in reality, there's going to be times where you make these mistakes unintentionally because you didn't know any better, and that is simply okay, right? There are going to be times also where you get to this point right here and you have the option to either go left or right, right? You have a road going this way actually, and you have a road going this way as well, right? And you're right here in your car, right? And you're deciding, you're like holy cow, like should I be going, left right here, or should I be going right here? And what I find it happening a lot, especially for high school athletes and even the parents, sometimes it's the parents more than the athletes, you find yourself in this what I call inflection point, right? You have option A, you have option B. And ultimately, you're on this long road trip from point A to point B, but in all reality, you guys forget to turn on your car. And if you never turn on your car, you never take action towards, the left or towards the right, you're never going to get to point B. So I see this happening so many times where you guys are lost in the recruiting process, lost in the physical and mental development that what it takes to become a D1 athlete and professional athlete, right? And you guys are just kind of hesitating. You're stalling out and you're not making a decision, and ultimately you are not taking action. So let's talk about the email structure, on really how to construct the overall email, and then I'll talk about exactly what my email template looks like and how we follow this same exact process. So first and foremost, the greeting of the coach is probably one of the most important things that obviously addresses that specific coach. Then it's really important to personalize each and every email, because if it's not personalized, these college coaches receive thousands, and if you just simply copy and paste the same email over and over and over again, just like when you get a unpersonalized or spammed out camp invite, it's not the best feeling because you don't know if someone actually took the time to actually send that out specifically to you or your player, right? So personalizing that is probably one of the most important things. After we personalize it, this is where we basically give them an overview of why you're emailing them, of what's going on, obviously giving them a small little context, maybe one, maybe two sentences. Then we get into the body where we really just showcase who we are and what we do. We do some links. And then finally, we do a signature. And that signature, there's ways to do it that make yourself look very, very professional, and then also gives them that understanding, again, of painting that canvas of who you or your player is. There's a way to do that email signature in a very simple, but also very effective strategy that I teach to all of my students. So that is the overall email structure. Now let's get into it. So this is the email template that I instruct all my students to use. And this is going to be some of the most valuable minutes that you've ever spent throughout this entire recruiting process. And again, if you are a high school baseball player interested in downloading the same exact email template, or if you're a parent of an athlete, go down below in the description, you can download this. So first and foremost, your subject line, keeping it very, very simple with just your name, your position, maybe your city and state. Like I said, the simple greeting, dear coach, last name of that coach that you're sending it to. A personalized little statement, making sure that it's not just simply, hey, I like your university. That is not personalized to that specific university one bit, all right? So you really truly need to make sure that that personalization is doing a little bit of research on who that college coach is, what they've done maybe in their career as a player, and then also as a coach. This little section right here, the understanding of like an overview, right? Basically, my name is, I'm a high school baseball player from your state. You're interested in that specific college, and I want to provide some key information. And this is, again, this is the body where we give them, a good understanding, just a quick hitters as far as some metrics, not necessarily stats. This is probably the area that a lot of people mess up, and that's completely okay. You're in your own word statement, because a lot of the times I ask my students to do this, and they don't really know how to talk the game of baseball at that level. D1 coaches especially want guys that get it. They talk the game, they understand the game. So in your own words, are you able to convey what you actually are providing them, right? Because obviously you know what they provide to you, an opportunity to continue out your baseball career. But what do you provide to them, right? So I give you an example of what I would basically do, but that's specifically for me. Your playing style is probably not specifically the same as me as well. So this is the area where I want you to understand it's okay to include some links. I always think it's best to link those within the words. And then you also want to do like a 30-second highlight video. And again, if you don't know how to edit a video, that's something that I instruct all my students inside my academy, because that is part of the recruiting process. I give you that A to Z process of truly how to land a college commitment inside my triple play. So if you're interested in the triple play, go down below in the description as well. And then this is also like basically the signature. You can do social media if you'd like. Thank you for your time, and then giving yourself, your phone number, contact information, your full name. You can also, what I instruct some of my students is to do a small little like PFP, a profile picture. It's a circular profile picture, and basically you're right there. And it's a close-up, think headshot. It doesn't necessarily have to be a baseball specific picture, but it could be a school photo of you just looking professional. It's, clear cut, and then that way these college coaches can actually see what you ultimately look like. And real quick, I'm just going to go over a quick little example of what your email should look like. So, subject line, Evan Mendoza, shortstop, Sarasota, Florida. Dear coach, last name. I hope this email finds you well. My name is Evan Mendoza, and I'm a high school baseball player from Florida, interested in college's baseball program. I'm reaching out to provide you with some key information. GPA 4.0, that is a true stat. 2014 was my graduation year. I was a shortstop, right-handed pitcher. I played FTB, Sarasota High School, Sarasota, Florida. And as you can tell, there's really good spacing, right? There's spacing between those vertical lines, making it very, very easy on the eyes. I include my fastball velocity because I was mostly a pitcher. So honestly, if I was mostly a pitcher, I would actually redo these. I would put right-hand pitcher before shortstop, but either way, this is something that I just quickly typed up. But in my own words, I'm mostly known for my gloves, smart and quick decisions on the base paths, and executing offensive strategies effectively. Here's some links for your reference: perfect game profile, 30-second highlight video. You can also find me on Instagram right here. And as you can tell, it's very clean cut. I don't include like a super long URL. No, that's going to turn these college coaches off. Obviously, if you just put PG profile, they're going to know exactly what that is. If you put 30-second highlight video, they're going to know that they're only going to be investing the next 30 seconds into you, which is actually going to make them excited to click on this email. But again, if you're not implementing the strategies I teach inside my academy, you're probably not going to be tracking things like open rate and click rate, and that's completely okay. But those are some of the most important metrics that we are collecting when we're sending out a ton of emails. Again, thank you for your time. I'm looking forward to the possibility of developing my skills at, let's say, NC State. Best regards, and then you can text me at that number. If you don't believe me, that's my phone number. It's not, but that's basically what an email should look like. There are times where, though, I want to make sure that you guys are, stopping by this video and understand what's actually going on. Here are some things on what not to say. And this is ultimately the way that you frame the questions that you're asking to these college coaches. And it matters, right? So I know a lot of you that don't necessarily have an email template probably would write something like this. Are you guys looking for a 2026 shortstop? Your value is just now gone way down, right? Because you're basically asking them, hey, are you guys looking for someone that fits my mold? Like, why would you ever do that, right? And maybe you don't understand like the psychology behind it, but if you believe in yourself and you have the utmost confidence in your playing abilities, you should be more or less like, hey, you should be lucky if you get me on your campus, right? That mentality obviously has a line to it, because if you're throwing 65 miles an hour as a senior and you're only a PO, probably doesn't make sense to have that mentality. But let's say you are a cream of the crop. Maybe you play high school and travel baseball in Florida, Texas, or let's say California. You should have this almost demeanor or this framing to the emails that you send out, saying like, hey, if I land a college commitment to your university, you should be thanking me, right? Not necessarily the other way around. So are you guys looking for a 2026 shortstop? Like, no. You're basically selling yourself so low, and that's not the best strategy to go about it. It basically just weakens your overall frame of who you are. So I would never say something like this. Basically, are you guys looking for this, X, Y, and Z? And more times than not, they're going to respond with something like, hey, we've already, gotten 3 shortstops for the 2026 class. Like, go kick rocks, right? So you have to think about the framing of how you ask certain questions. That's where I personally would never instruct any of my students to ask this specific question because, again, it's just framing yourself as a lower tier prospect. Some other things, when you're putting abbreviations, you don't necessarily want to put like third baseman, right? And this is just like small things, but I know college coaches would appreciate. You just want to put like 3B because that's an international thing that doesn't matter who you are. If you play baseball, you know what that means. And college coaches know what that means as well. Also, another thing you don't want to say, I'm a first baseman, I'm a third baseman, I'm a shortstop, I'm a second baseman, I'm an outfielder, and I'm also a catcher. So pick a position, guys. And if you can't pick a position, simply put INF if you play multiple infield positions, or put OF if you are an outfielder. If you are a pitcher, don't just put pitcher. Put either RHP for right-handed pitcher or left-handed pitcher, LHP, right? If you literally cannot decide, I sometimes would suggest you just put UTL. But personally, I think a lot of D1 coaches and college coaches like athletes that have a position, especially shortstops and center fielders. So if you don't have a position, I would refrain from putting UTL. I would probably just pick your two favorite positions that aren't necessarily in the same category. So don't put like shortstop and second base. Just put maybe, MIF for middle infield, right? And college coaches know exactly what that means without doing something cluttered like that. Now, if your player wants to become a college prospect, go down below in the description to book a call with me. We can discuss his strengths, his weaknesses, his goals, and how I could help with those next couple of steps of turning him into a college prospect.